everybody, this is Joe Van Cleve and welcome back to the channel and the Typewriter video series. And I wanted to give you guys a brief overview, of the recent Type Out that we had here in Albuquerque back this last Sunday, April 28th, 2019. It was a great turnout. Stay tuned. Well, we've been having our semi-annual Type Out events in the last few years at Pennysmiths Paper. They are located down in the Rio Grande Valley of Albuquerque, and again, they're wonderful, gracious hosts for us. So we enjoyed the venue. It's in a covered breezeway in front of their store, so it's kind of a little strip mall kind of building with a large covered porch, if you will, and it's where we set up our tables. And it's a nice place because anchoring this whole location is the Flying Star Cafe on the other end of it, and so there's a lot of people that come up there to eat, and then they stroll down the breezeway looking at the shops. They actually go like this. I have a sign that I put up on the other side of the breezeway closer to the Flying Star to kind of lure people down to the event. And so I advertised the event on Facebook and two of the local newspapers, as well as Pennysmiths did some marketing themselves, and they supplied the poster artwork this year for the event. They were really gracious to do that, and I really liked the artwork that they did. So the event was going to start about 12 noon, and we would be there at about 11:30 to set up. I got there a little late, about 11:40, but we had plenty of time to set up. I brought a table and some chairs. Pennysmiths provided some chairs and also more tables, and it was a fun event. My friend Kevin, of course, was instrumental, was key to the success of the event. But one thing that was really special this time, not only the turnout, we had a really great turnout, but the fact that we had 3 out-of-town guests. We had from the St. Louis area. We have a couple, Brenda and John Blomberg from the St. Louis area, and we have Diane Maher, also from the St. Louis area, all showed up in Albuquerque just for this event, and it was a lot of fun talking with them. And I had an extended opportunity to spend some time with Diane Maher. She brought 2 of her Smith Premier typewriters from her collection, and she also brought an SG1 Olympia and I think an SM3 Olympia. But we had a chance to go over to John Lewis's typewriter repair shop here in Albuquerque, and she spent quite a bit of time there. One of the things we always end up with when we're done with these events is we end up with a stack of paper of people's typings. And in the past, we've used full letter-size sheets of paper, but at Kevin's suggestion, we decided to start using half-size sheets of paper, a little bit less wasteful. But what I like to do is we collect all these papers at the end of the event for the ones that people leave. Some people take their writings with them, which I think is really great. But the ones that are left, we take them, and then I sift through them. A lot of them are just, the quick brown fox kind of stuff, and this typewriter feels cool and all that. But some of it is really neat, and so I kind of make note of the ones that have really interesting comments and maybe slightly personal, like my BFF loves her some unicorns, so I love me some unicorn. I try to save all these from every event, the ones that are worthy of saving. So as I said earlier, Diane Maher has been involved in the typosphere for quite a while, and she has attended the big West Virginia typewriter gathering at Herman's, and she's been there several times. She's actually been involved in the speed typing contest for the antique typewriters category with her Smith Premier typewriter. So I had an opportunity to interview Diane, and let's show you that interview now. Well, hey, Diane, welcome to Albuquerque.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah. Now, you've brought some interesting machines. Tell us about them.
Yes, I did. I brought the Smith Premier number 4, which is known as a blind typer, and so it also has a double keyboard. So it has the capitals are in black in the top section of the keyboard, and then the lowercase letters are on the white keys on the lower section of the keyboards, and the numbers and the symbols are all around the edges.
And what is the rough age of those typewriters? When did they come out?
Around this particular one is from 1899.
Wow.
The other one is a Smith Premier number 10, and I think it's from around 1909.
What is it about those that drew you to them?
I first read about them on the Typewriter Talk forum, and I just heard about these upstrikes, and I thought, well, that sounds neat, but I doubt I'd ever find one. And then lo and behold, I found one on my local Craigslist.
Right.
And so I got it home and started, cleaning it up, and I think I took it to the local repair shop once or twice to kind of help with that. But once it got it working, it's like, oh, this is fun. And it has no shift keys because you have your capitals on one key and lowercase on the other.
Do you like that technique of using one hand for uppercase and the other for lowercase?
Well, quick is relative.
Yes. Well,
it's not necessarily quick, but it's fun. I found it's fun, and the keys, as long as the machine's in reasonably good working order, it doesn't take a lot to press those keys.
Now, you were involved in a speed typing contest the last 2 times you visited Herman Price's typewriter gathering, correct?
Well, the first time I placed second with a whole 14.2 words per minute. And I got blown away by Richard Polt, who had like 27 something or other words per minute. This was the category of antique typewriters. Yeah. The second time last year, there was considerably less people due to the weather on Saturday night kind of messing up the competition. So there was only 4 total people, 2 in the antique and 2 in the modern. He chose to go in the modern, so it's like, oh, somebody else can win the antique this time. He is a ringer, but he's a very nice fellow. But yeah, he types very fast, even on the awkward keyboard layouts of the antique typewriter. I've just never seen anything like it. So
of the other typewriters in your collection besides the Smith Premier, what are some of the brands that you like?
I really like the Olympia. I have some Royals, and I like them too. Right. I like the Smith Coronas and the kind of the whole Smith line. Yeah. I seem to have a lot of those for some reason.
Well, how did you get started into typewriters, Diane?
Well, my mom used to use a Royal Quiet Deluxe white portable when I was little to type up things for me. Like in school, we had to write term papers and the like, right. And so she would use that to type them, and I always thought that was a neat looking typewriter. But later, whenever I took typing in high school, but basically I wound up using an electric Smith Corona, one of the ones with the cartridge ink, the cartridge ink, and with the power return that just sends the carriage into the next county. Yeah.
We had one of those.
Yes, I played with it a little. It was like ding, zing. Actually, I was on Fountain Pen Network, and there was something on there about typewriters. So I thought, okay, I went over there, and there were some people that I knew, and knew is in air quotes, because you don't know anybody online. Right. So, but I thought, okay, well, I'll go over. So I went to this Typewriter Talk forum, and that's kind of where I was meeting some people. And
So what was the first typewriter you collected after you got started in them?
It was actually a White Royal Quiet Deluxe
Royal.
because I couldn't find Mom's. She didn't know what she'd done with it, and
Interesting. Do you still have that?
I do still have it. Yeah.
Good. Does it bring back a lot of those memories?
It does.
Yeah.
It really does, and it has the same sort of. It's a pica, and so it has that same sort of typeface that I remember from the term papers. And
how did your collection progress? Did you go right into the Smith Premiers?
I got into some bigger typewriters whenever I acquired some that were in my parents' basement. It's one of these, would you mind if I took these? And because there was like a big Remington 17, a Royal FP.
Did that comprise most of your collection for a while, or did you continue to collect more after that?
Well, yes and yes. I mean, yes, it was, but it was a case of there's traffic on my way home from work. Why don't I go to an antique store? They have typewriters.
And it slowly progressed from
and it really did slowly progress from there. But
so, how many typewriters do you right now have, approximately?
I think I'm around 60.
Now, of those 60, how many do you think are functional or working?
Probably 56. There's a couple that need attention, and
Tell us what your writing life is like.
typically journals and stuff at work. I have fountain pen friendly paper at work because somebody ordered a couple of reams of that Rhodia with the purple the purple lines on it that they have for Circa, and it's like they didn't like the paper, or maybe it didn't agree with their normal whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll take that. It's like, ooh, free paper.
Paper.
Yeah, fountain pen paper at work.
And what is your favorite fountain pen?
Well, I have quite a collection of Twisbees at the moment, but I also have a Pelican, a Mont Blanc, a couple of Mont Blancs, and so it just depends.
Right.
And I try to cycle through them.
What kind of writing have you been doing with typewriters?
I write fan fiction that's loosely based on Hogan's Heroes, mostly.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
And sometimes I try to cross other shows with the characters from Hogan's Heroes, or vice versa. Take them and put them into the other show, and which can be a little awkward because I have to go back and watch the other show. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot this happened or that happened. And I think to date I've tried to cross them with Hawaii 5-0, which was an awkward one. I'm currently working on one with MASH.
Oh, wow. So which machines do you like to type on when you're doing fan fiction?
Just about any of them.
You use the Smith Premiers?
I use the Smith Premiers. I used one of the Smith Premier number 4s for the 2017 NaNoWriMo.
Oh my goodness.
For the first 25 days, and then something happened during one of the events, and it was a mechanical thing, and I did not have a screwdriver with me because it was a simple fix, and it just pricked my balloon. It just sucked the energy out for the remaining 5 days, and it was just such a big bummer because I was so thrilled. It's like, I'm going to use this machine for 30 days straight of writing.
Well, maybe next year, this time of year, perhaps. Thank you so much, Diane, for being with us during the Type Out and for this interview.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Joe. I appreciate meeting you and all the people out here, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you. It's been fun, too. Well, the question is always, what typewriters are we going to bring to the type-in? So Kevin and I both have to figure that out every time. We brought, I believe, 3 electric typewriters. He and I each brought our 5 Series Smith Corona Electrics. I brought a 6 Series Coronet Automatic 12. There's a lot of older machines you'd like to bring, but perhaps you're a little concerned about them being delicate because some kids might sit down at them if you're not watching, and maybe the machine could incur some damage. So you always have to be kind of cautious about bringing really delicate or old machines to these events. But I think I brought 12 machines, and I didn't bring them all out. It was really too many machines. I had my car stuffed. I could hardly fit anything in it with 10 chairs, a table, and all the other stuff I had to bring as well. So, yeah, we had too many typewriters. But if you're ever hosting one of these events, you might want to start collecting typewriters just to be used for type-ins. Example would be sort of 50s or 60s era Smith Coronas or the Japanese Brother-made portables. They're all kind of rugged typewriters. They work well. They have pretty good touch, reliable, and if some damage occurs to them, they're not super exotic or rare that you would be really concerned about them being damaged. So I think in the future I am going to make sure that I have a little bit more of these rugged kind of public typewriters to use. Well, one of the interesting things that happened during the Type Out is I was gifted this Brother EP43 thermal typewriter, and I'll be doing a review of this machine in the future, but I just had to show it to you here. It's a pretty tiny little guy, and it's powered by either AC adapter or it also can be powered off C-cell batteries. So it actually ends up being lighter in weight than the other two thermal typewriters I have because it uses C-cells, not D-cells. So little Brother EP43 typewriter. And then on the other spectrum of size and weight, I was given an Olympia SG3. It is a monster, and it is a wonderful machine, and I did some cleaning and on it and servicing it yesterday. It's sporting a silk red-black ribbon, and it is a wonderful machine, and I'll be doing a review of that also soon. So thinking about these public typewriter events, they're kind of multi-purpose, I see them as. First of all, I think it's a great opportunity to just gather the community of typewriter aficionados. And in our event this year, we had, of course, out-of-state visitors from the Midwest. It was wonderful to meet these people. So it is a coming together of the tribe, if you will. But it's also an opportunity to grow the tribe, to bring new people in. New people come to this event, and all of a sudden they find themselves with a latent interest in typewriters, perhaps that's sparked to life by the enthusiasm of the group. And so we've collected several new members for our little Albuquerque group here as a result of this meeting. And so that's one of the purposes we like to do is for these type outs is to help build our little local community of typewriter adepts. But it's really fun seeing what other people bring to the meeting in terms of typewriters. And the whole purpose is really just to build a vibrant community that will be self-sustaining going into the future. And so I'm really excited about that. Yep, typewriters, we love them. Well, that's a little short review. Was it short? Review of the Spring 2019 Albuquerque Type Out event, and I hope you guys are encouraged to try starting your own typewriter event in your own community. Well, until next time, stay creative, have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye-bye.